Larry, first of all, just give us your reflections on last week's win, an important win.
Yeah, it was just obviously to lock in that top four and give us that home final, and our highest finish ever in the Super League era, I think, which is a great reward considering the season we've had, and the potential to finish third now. So that's in our hands, and just incredible to think that how much we've developed and grown as a club in the last couple of years.
What sort of pleased you the most about Friday night's performance?
I loved our resilience and our toughness. I thought Saints are an awesome side, and if they get in front earlier on, they've got the ability to strangle and choke you out. So I thought we managed to start really well. I thought we defended tough together as a group. We only were under the pump really in when we're down to 12 men whilst Edwin was off, and once he was back on, we sort of got a hold of the game again and scored and then accelerated to the finish line. So I thought there were some really positive signs.
Yeah, I guess when Edwin went off and Saints got those two quick tries, it's sort of the testament to the team that they didn't crumble, isn't it? And then when he got back on, you never look back. Yeah,
I think, I thought it was unfair, the sin bin as well. Looking back, they obviously haven't charged him for anything there, so to be sin bin in the game was not ideal, and I prefer them not to do that in the bigger matches, because if you're down to 12 people in any big game, it's a completely different picture, and you want the best team to win on the day, and if it doesn't deserve a sin binning, well, then don't do it. So, I felt that it wasn't a team issue. The two tries, we dropped a couple of bombs off the back of that led to the two tries. So, the majority of the team had obviously kept their heads through the tough time, and we defended really well in the two sets before half time when he was off as well. So, but that builds resilience, and Edwin's aware of his situation there. Edwin's been suspended for this week from going from 5 points to 6 points. So he was given a grade A and 1 point, which gets you to 6 points, which initiates the 1 week suspension. But that suspension or that 1 point charge wasn't off the contact with Clark. It was often another contact with Bell. So, yeah, a completely different incident for him to be able to be charged and miss the week.
Yeah, I guess with the sort of system now, it doesn't really change much for Edwin, does it, in terms of once he's missed this week, he's still back at risk again.
Yeah.
Is that sort of the message to Edwin?
Yeah, I think the coaches and the RFL need to sit down and talk about this, because I think they've got it right in some way of delaying the suspensions, but if it's building towards the final, I think there needs to be a system there where the points also given back to the player during the season. So he's in a position now where it's on the verge of danger every single action. So I've had a conversation with him in how he can be just a little bit more diligent in some areas and have some game sense and smarts around what that looks like for us for the remaining games of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's far from just Edwin that's sort of in that situation. I think at Saints, George Delaney's been banned 2 weeks out of the last three, and then he'll again this week be back in the same sort of predicament. It's not just Edwin, it's the whole competition.
Yeah, it's dangerous how it can build all season to get to this point and then be on that threshold throughout the most important games of the season. And we don't want anyone, missing the most important games of the season, especially the grand final, if some club were to be in that situation.
Yeah, let's go on to Huddersfield then. Barring Edwin, it looks like a pretty strong squad. Was there any thought of rotating, or do you just want to keep building momentum?
No, there's. I feel that we just need to keep going, but we've got no games left to build combinations together and time. But it's been a great year so far, regardless of what happens from here on in. I think as a lot of new faces and a new team, so to speak, I think we've pretty much improved every quarter as we've gone along. There has been some inconsistencies there, but we feel we're at a point now where we're in control of our performances, and that takes a lot of hard work. So I'm grateful to be here and having the last game at home. So our first game was Huddersfield at home this year, as in second round, but our first home game. We're going to finish against Huddersfield with the last game of the season here too. So it's interesting how that's worked out, but I'm going to play our strongest possible team. It's important we keep that momentum going, and in a consideration this week will come testing you obviously back into consideration. Ethan O'Neill, I think that's everyone that's available in our squad. So it's a good position to be in.
Yeah, those two are big characters, aren't they? And big players for your team. Great to have them back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a bit of dilemma with whether Ethan is in the starting 13, is on the bench 4 players, or is 18th or 19th man. That's how difficult it is, and it's a tough call that I'll have to make this week. But we've just got to be true to who we are and reward the players that are playing their best rugby at the moment. So everyone knows that, but that's, as mentioned earlier, it's a position we need to be in.
Yeah, elsewhere in your squad, there's no Darnell. What can you tell us about Darnell and what the future might hold for him?
Well, Darnell's contracted here for next year, and he's still a big part of our squad and team. There's every chance that he could play and play some part in between here and the end of the season. So nothing will change with that.
And just lastly, then, I think from Huddersfield, it's Leroy Cudjoe's last game. Obviously, a really long, illustrious sort of career. What can you say about him? I guess you've got nothing but high praise for him.
Yeah, we've got a lot of praise from him at the club here. Like he started from, if you start your career on the wing and then end up in the middle or front row or 13, you're doing a pretty good job. And to be honest with you, I think he's their best player. So the way that he's influenced the way that team has played, I know they haven't been probably successful on the wins and on the ladder. I thought his form has been as good as any player in Super League, and it's credit to him, coming towards the end and to be able to still play like that and inspire his team every week. So it's certainly an inspiration for not only his teammates but everyone else watching.
Cheers, Ollie. Good luck.
Thanks, Ben.
Hi, Lammy. How's it going?
Hey, Will. Very well. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Just a couple from me about players. Ethan O'Neill. Look, it's been some first season in Super League he's had, hasn't he? Is he a genuine contender for the dream team?
Well, he's missed a lot of games through injury, and the tough part about Ethan is that he's played a lot of games with injury, so he hasn't had the season where he's been healthy the whole way through. Unfortunately, at times there's been nigglies which has caught up with him, which is the part that's probably kept him out at some other parts. So, but he's certainly got an ability to score a try at crucial parts of the game. He's brought us a lot of enthusiasm this year and a little bit of an X factor on that right edge. So he hasn't played for 4 weeks. We've got to make a decision on whether or not we run with the team that's been successful over the last couple of weeks, or do we bring someone in fresh with the risk of injury. So we'll make that decision. It's a tough one. It's a really, really hard one, to be honest with you. A few players will miss out on our team this week and next week as we go into the quarterfinals. So, but it's a position that we prefer to be in.
Yeah, Owen Trout was included in the last England squad in summer. How do you rate his chances going into this Ashes series?
I think extremely high. If his performances and the way that he's developed is any indication, I think he'll be in that 17 there somewhere. He can also play front row, he can play 13, he can play back row, he can come off the bench and cover all of that. So, and he's a defender that I think you need against the Australians. I think he's got one of those abilities to be aggressive, and I know the coach will love that. Fingers crossed he plays a part there. Certainly deserved it.
Yeah. Thanks, Lammy. Cheers for that.
Thanks, Will.